Welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. I'm Grant. Today I am unboxing another new game from Worthington Publishing that actually was off a successful Kickstarter from earlier in the year, I think March or April, give or take. So they churned this one out pretty quickly. Shooting the video here, it's September the 19th. So they got it, through the campaign, through the production process, and then got it shipped out. It's been going out over the last couple of weeks. We just got our copy from Worthington just a couple of days ago. So this game is called French and Indian War, and it does not cover the entire 7 years of that conflict on the North American continent. It really focuses on just 1757 to 1759. So if you look at the box, a really nice box. This is a 2-inch box. It's their smaller size box, which I really like because they don't typically take up as much space. But here you can see the British moving some artillery pieces into position, firing on the French forces. And obviously you can see the wilderness there. So it's very cool art. I like it. Sets the mood immediately. So let's go ahead and open the box. I will turn it over really quickly. This is a look at the map, and we'll obviously take a much closer look at it. But the game is a strategic level game that uses blocks to represent the units on the board. You can play it where there's some hidden movement. I believe they provide you a paper pad where you can write, units, locations, and movements down. It also has custom dice that matches the symbols of the units that are firing. So for instance, when a militia fires, you're going to look for a militia symbol on the die in order to score a hit. That's cross muskets. So you're going to have to pay attention to those, and that's what you're looking for. The game is for 2 players. There isn't a solo mod for this one, but it is highly suitable for solitaire. It plays in about an hour. So the game is pretty interesting looking. I'm excited to actually get it on the table. One, I do enjoy French and Indian War games. I have several of them. Box is a very, very tight fit, by the way. But yeah, I really like French and Indian War games. I also enjoy block war games. I just think they're very fun, very interesting. Comes with a thing of baggies. I mentioned that movement pad, and here you can see it. So you can see that there are the years of the war, and you're going to write, I think, the locations in the boxes of the units. So you're going to put I for irregular, M for militia, R for regular, etc. And you're going to put where they are and where they move, and then there's some hidden movement elements during the sequence of play. There's about 50 of those, it looks like, and they are front and back, so you're probably not going to need to write or make copies of these after when you write on them. There's plenty of them here for you. But yeah, that's kind of an interesting element. With all of Worthington's games, they send 2 copies of the rule book. I really enjoy that. When Alexander and I play these games, I'll have one, he'll have one, and we'll look up the rules as we need to. One of the things about war games that I hate sometimes is you're trying to plan out a move, and all of a sudden you realize, oh crap, I've got to know a rule about this type of terrain. And if it's not readily available on the board itself, you then have to ask for the rule book. And then you start looking into it, and it's like that brings the attention of your other player to it. It's almost like you're using smoke signals and you're alerting the player that you're doing something. I hate that. So I really like the fact that you've got your own copy of the rule book. You can look at it in your leisure as you're playing. You can hide that, kind of keep it secret. Just another element of the kind of cat and mouse aspect of these types of games. And block war games create a great fog of war. So it really creates an attitude of, I don't know what my enemy's units are doing. I don't know what their strength is. I don't know what type of units there are. And I really like that. So here are the stickers for the blocks. So you can look at the different silhouettes, the different types of units. You do have ships. You have regulars. You have militia. You have irregular troops. like Rangers and the like. You also have Native Americans. So here you can get a look at a Mohawk Indian unit. Here the French have a different set of Mohawk Indian allies. The Abenaki, the Ottawa, Algonquin. I can't read that one. That one's really Huron. You've got some Marine units. And then you've got, these are militia, those crossed muskets that I kind of referenced earlier. But yeah, you can see these are nice. They're small. I'm going to be honest. The blocks look huge. I'm wondering why they didn't make these a little bit larger. But we'll look at that. Maybe there's a reason for that. I don't know because I haven't necessarily gone through it yet. But yeah, you got two pages of these. I'm sure that some of them are extras. But there's a look at the stickers themselves. Here is a board. It's actually a two-sided board. And this is something when I opened it the other day, I noticed and I was immediately skeptical about. I hate it when they put a setup like this on one side of a card or a manual. And then you got to flip it over. I guess this is kind of a battle board. So you wouldn't necessarily need the battle board with the sequence of battle. Here you can see that battle sequence. So it's okay to put this on the back of a setup type card. But here you can get the historical setup, and then there is a freeform setup. As I mentioned, that hidden setup, that pad of paper, you can do that, and I think that would be pretty interesting to kind of keep the game fresh once you've played it 3 or 4 times. Kind of add some. Ooh, and there you can see all the cool blocks and dice inside this custom-made components tray. The map is mounted. I know many of you enjoy mounted maps. I enjoy mounted maps, but I also understand they add cost to a product. They also make it a little heavier, a little harder to store. But you can see that's a big map. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna pull it up close so you can see. There are cities and forts and other areas called out, ports, etc. So here is New York, British held, it's red. Albany, up in Albany, New York, Fort William Henry. You've got Hartford, Connecticut, Deerfield, Boston, etc. And then you kind of flip it over so you can see that the French player sits on the other side. For the French player, here is St. Saint Frederick, Fort Carrollton, Montreal, etc. Fort Frontenac. Here is Lake Ontario. Remember, there are some naval units in the game. So kind of a neat thing how they've made that where you can kind of readily see when you're the French player and you're sitting on the other side, you can really quickly see the names of those cities and forts, etc., etc. So yeah, I had mentioned this custom components tray. This is something that looks like they're making standard in their games. I unboxed and played Crusader Kingdoms earlier today, and it also had a custom made components tray with a lid to kind of keep everything inside it. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. They're big trays, and you can see that, you've got cubes. These are black cubes. Can't really see those against that black background. Here are the blocks. So you got red blocks for the British. You've got light cornflower blue for the French. And then here are those custom dice. Let's go ahead and open. And I always joke these are vacuum sealed for freshness. But there are custom dice here, and then there's just one 6-sider. So let's go ahead and look at those custom dice. So remember I talked about you are looking, when you're rolling, you're looking for the symbols of your unit. So there's a tomahawk. That would be for, I believe, the irregular units and or the Indians. That looks like it's for a regular militia unit. I'm not sure what the star is. That's a French, so that's a French unit, French regular, and then that's a British regular there. You can see there's a ship. So there's 6 sides, and there's, I was trying to look to see if there's more than, no, it doesn't look like it. So I'm wondering if all the dice are the same. It appears that they are. So you don't have a lot of variety. So you basically have a 1 in 6 chance of hitting with the unit you're firing with these dice. So very interesting. I'm not sure what the star is. I don't know if that's... I don't believe there's artillery units. Let me look back at the stickers. I don't believe there were artillery units. The ship is on there. I'm not sure, guys, what the star is. I'll have to look that up when we play that. But it is a block war game. Here I'm opening these blocks, and remember I said the blocks appeared to be bigger. I guess now that I've opened them, I'm not sure that they're really that much bigger. Let's go ahead and pull out a regular, and I really don't want to be doing this, but I wanted to show you. So this is the 15th, and it's a little dark, and sure enough, I put that on a little bit crooked. Crud. There we go. I'll fix it. But, there, the actual block takes up most of that sticker, so I was wrong when I said they appeared to be bigger, and maybe they could have made them bigger. But, yeah, that's a look. The rule book, we didn't really dive into the rule books. I kind of showed you. The rule book is literally like 8 pages. 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 10, 11 pages of rules. And you can play this game solitaire. I actually did not know that. I definitely want to try this solitaire. But the rules aren't very difficult. They're not really dense text. There are some examples. You can see that blue text there is called out. You have some examples. But there's a lot of different cool rules. Retreat, winter attrition. The battle sequence is fairly interesting. Those dice are really cool. And then here's just a look at the different components. So yeah, this is a nice game. Frankly, Worthington has been putting out really nice games over the past couple of years. I don't know that they have done poor games in the past, but they definitely, I think, have stepped their game up and started to make games that are much more attractive while being fun to play and interesting. We've played quite a few of theirs and have really enjoyed those. So that's a look at all those components for, once again, French and Indian War from Worthington Publishing, brand spanking new off Kickstarter. If you enjoy games on the French and Indian War, this is probably for you. As I mentioned in the rules, it looks like it has some solitaire rules. I'm not sure how that plays. One of the people that follows us on Twitter, Pete, we follow him as well and look at a lot of his stuff. He played this solitaire. I was assuming he was two-handing it and just playing both sides, but it looks like it might have a solitaire mode. So yeah, there you go. A look at French and Indian War from Worthington Publishing. We'll try to get this one played. We also have a couple of their games on the war around the Great Lakes in the War of 1812. They're also block war games, and we would like to play them. We just haven't had a chance. Frankly, with Alexander's father passing and COVID, the last 6 months have been very, very rough, and we have not necessarily played a whole lot, which is a bad thing. I want to play more. So anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it, and thank you.